We put all this together. One of the questions that comes up is, what is the place of humans in this brave new world of robotics and AI? Do we redesign human beings to improve their physical and mental abilities? Or do we end up actually in some way replacing human beings? Some people have talked about transhumanism, the idea that technologies would eliminate aging, for example, enhance intellect, enhance physical and psychological capacities, and cause us to enter what has been called a post-human future. Obviously, the major negatives here are the commodification of human beings, the idea of playing God, not knowing what we are doing in terms of science, maybe struggling with limits to science, and the idea of what's sometimes called evolution in our own lunchtime, instant evolution of the species. On whose terms is that to be done? If it is to be done, ought it to be done at all? Basically, we can foresee some basic enhancements to human abilities, both physical and intellectual. We see a couple of examples here, the enhanced human physically and the information gathering ability from implanted advanced technologies. Or, nagging question, are we going to end up replacing humans in some way? Watson and its super abilities raises a number of questions. If Watson can beat chess champions, Jeopardy contestants, what might it do to influence the nature of the human person? On the right, you'll see a young woman who might be interested in AI. I wonder why. Here she is answering some questions about AI at a conference. So she's clearly focused on the issues. Aha, she is actually a robot. Here is the advanced robot called Sophia. Has very natural movement, natural speech, expressions, physically looks like a human being when her clothing is arranged properly. Is she an artificial person? Some people are suggesting that robots ought to have rights in the future. It's not a new question, of course. Robot rights, robot laws. Many years ago, Isaac Asimov, in his I, Robot series, brings up the 3 laws of robotics. Should we control the robots, or should they be self-controlled? And you see there the idea that a robot shouldn't injure a human being, shouldn't allow a human being to come to harm either, must obey the orders of the human being unless it would be in conflict with the first order involving injury to the human. And then thirdly, the robot should protect its own existence as long as its protection does not conflict with the other 2 laws. Maybe some guides that we could use in the future. Here we've got what looks like a very interesting chess game. The robot on the left, is it a robot or a human dressed up, says, I am human. The woman on the right, is it actually Sophia or is it a human, says, no, I'm a human. How do we know who is human? Could they both be human? If we could make a human, ought we to do so? And what would it mean? Again, this is not a new idea. Alan Turing, who pioneered the early computers during the Second World War, had a vision that it might be possible to design an intelligent computer. And he said a computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it could deceive a human into believing that it was human. So he set up a test. It's called the Turing test. And basically you have a person in one room facing 2 contestants, as it were, to the challenge, can you tell the difference between the human and a machine? The Turing test requires 2 people to be hidden behind a screen, and random questions are asked by the human person, and you have to judge from the answers whether they come from a human or a computer. Now, in 2014, someone called Eugene Gustman took the Turing test and convinced experts that he was a 13-year-old boy. How would you know whether he really was a computer or a person? In the event, Eugene was, of course, a computer. So coming back to Sophia, she looks like a woman, she behaves like a woman, she talks like a woman, she responds like a human being. Is she a conscious machine? How would you know whether you are a conscious machine? So here's some idea about a conscious machine. Could we create such a being? Edelman's idea was that we would not be able to design software for consciousness that could run successfully on any powerful computer in the way that would produce functionalism that could actually work. So his idea is that the amount of activity in the brain, the power of the brain, exceeds software's ability to quote-unquote capture it. Well, Alan Turing has been celebrated just in 2019 on a £50 British banknote, described as the father of computer science and artificial intelligence, as well as being a war hero for designing the Enigma machines to counter German Nazi intelligence. Well, maybe we could design a machine that was human. Would it become uncontrollable? Is there a point of no return where the creature is not able to be controlled by the creator? This was the dilemma in the film 2001. The advanced HAL computer refuses orders at a certain point and basically has to be totally disassembled in order to override its refusal to act. Could this be a message for us, perhaps in 2101? Who knows? So ultimately the question might be, who am I? I human? I am human. That's the distinction between myself and a robot. I am human. But what does that mean? James A.G. and Walker Evans went around looking at the state of rural America during the Great Depression. And they took photographs of individuals, as you can see here on this slide. But the question is, can an image capture what it's like to be the tenant farmers at that time, illustrated in the pictures? Just the same idea is in a map. A map of rural America would not tell you what it's like to be in that place, experiencing it as a human person. So there's something about consciousness, there's something about the uniqueness of human beings that is not capable of capture. This is further illustrated in another short piece by James A.G. called Knoxville Summer 1915. He's imagining a child and family sitting out in the summer evening on rugs outside their house, and the impossibility of really ever knowing the total human person. And here's the quote. By some chance, here they are all on this earth, lying on quilts on the grass on a summer evening amongst the sounds of night. After a while, I'm taken in and put to bed, and those receive me who quietly treat me as one familiar and well beloved in that home, but will not, oh will not now, not ever, but will not ever tell me who I am. So perhaps no photo, no person, no genome, no AI, no robot will ever capture me. Some people say the last great AI battle is for the mind. My mind, your mind, me and you.